welcome to Chill 13. If you've got a block or maybe a rolled up blanket or a cushion, it might be wise to grab those now. So just go and grab whatever you need, any props that you think you might want for this chill session, just to help you. I've got a couple of blocks to hand. You might want a dressing gown cord or a belt or something like that as well. Alright, come on down when you're ready. We're going to take child's pose just to start off. So taking any variation of child's pose which is nice for you. You can have the knees together if you're quite open through the back. You can let your forehead come down to the floor if you want to take the knees out wide, just a little bit more accessible. So the aim here of our chill session is a nice slow flow, working through all of the body, finding a bit of space, a bit of room. So allowing the forehead to rest down. You can take the hands down into a prayer pose behind the back of the neck if you like. You can release the arms towards the toes, just taking no stretch out through the shoulders at all, allowing the body to be heavy and letting the weight just drop down towards the ground. You can always take the hands into that arch position if you want a little bit more of a stretch out through the shoulders. Anything which works for you for the next 5 breaths. As you flow through the breath, inhaling, drawing oxygen into the body, revitalizing the cells, and exhaling, releasing any little niggles, any pains, any negativity which you might be holding in the body. Just release on the exhale. 3 more breaths. Allowing the breath to fill the back body, expand through the back and the rib cage, and then release. Final breath. And then from there, releasing the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into the hands, and working your way into an all fours position. And then from there, we're going to take the hands out in front, and we're going to work into some lovely hip circles. So taking the hands beyond the shoulder line, out in front, spread out the fingers, press down through the knuckles. Take a little squeeze in here through the navel, through the belly button as you draw it into the lower back. And let's start with some small circles. So taking the weight round one way, just for 3 or 4, then taking it the other way for 3 or 4. Just working to the hips. You might start to make the circles a little bit deeper, then going back the first way, much bigger circles this time if you can.
You got me this.
Yeah, pressing the bottom back towards the heels, finding as much movement through the hips. Change direction last time. So also warming up the shoulders a bit here, taking weight into the wrists, so get a little warm up there as well. Alright, well done. Find your way back to kneeling position. So walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to take a kneeling Superman and see what the balance feels like today. So pressing down through the left hand, through the right knee, maybe just starting off with taking the left leg out, so pointing the left toes, bringing the heel in line with the hips, and maybe then taking the right arm out. So if it feels like a big challenge, taking both out at the same time, just take one at a time. So think about extending fingertips away from toes. Think about releasing that right shoulder away towards those toes as we find length, as we find lift. So stretching out the abs, working into the glutes a little bit here. Holding that kneeling Superman. Try not to lean over towards the left and bend that left elbow. You can have it soft, but just so we're not rocking over towards the left. Well done. Perfect. Floating down from here. And then taking the right hand down, left knee down, maybe starting with that extension of the right leg, following it with the left arm, or taking both up at the same time. So really feel the navel drawing in here as you find length down the back of the neck as well as all the way down the spine. Full deep breaths, well done. Taking that focus down towards the floor for 3, 2, and 1. Great stuff, well done. Take the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a kneeling lateral bend now. So from all fours, take an inhale. Imagine you've got a big dinosaur tail. As you exhale, swish that big tail around to the right as you gaze over the right shoulder to look at it. So you're pressing the hips over towards the right hand side of your mat. So you should be able to feel that lovely stretch down the left side of the body. Inhale, come back through centre, and then swish the tail over to the left. Big swish that tail. Take a gaze over that left shoulder. Used to do this one a lot when I was pregnant. Inhale back through centre. Exhale over towards the right once more. Inhale through centre and back over to the left. Lovely, well done. From there, we're going to take a down dog or tabletop if down dog's not working for you. So from here, we're going to take a little tuck of the toes and a scoop up of the sit bones. Now, if this is your first down dog of the day, start to pedal out quite gently through the legs. Have a look at the hands. Are they shoulder width apart? Do you feel like the weight is evenly spaced? Spread out the fingers. Release those shoulders down the back. Lift the hips nice and high. Back of the neck long. Little squeeze of the belly. So you find length through the arms, length through the legs. Feel that energy zipping up through the arms and then down the legs. Sorry, I'm eating my own hair here. Nice big deep breath in. And out. Lovely job, well done. From here, we're going to walk forward to forward fold. So little baby steps, lots of knee bend. Creeping the toes forwards towards the wrists. And we're just going to hang out here in our forward fold. So just allow the whole of the upper body to hang out. Crown of the head moving down towards the floor. If you need to keep these knees really bent, that's fine. If you want to start extending them one at a time, you can start by lifting one heel up. So alternating heel lifts. So inhale, lifting up with the right heel as you press down and extend the left leg a little bit more. And then swapping it over as you bring the right heel down, lift the left up, so stretching into that right leg. So just alternating here, let the gaze still travel back towards the back side of the mat. Well done. We'll take one more on each side, so two more. Nice gentle opener into the backs of the legs. So we're going to do the same from a wide leg forward fold next. Well done. Bringing both heels back down to the ground. I want you to take a nice slow roll up, squeeze the belly, start to work into the lower back, chin to chest. All the way up, one vertebra at a time. Really feel that movement through the spine, coming up to full height. Good, well done. From here, take a big step back any way you want. Taking a wide leg forward fold. I'm just going to turn so I can face you so you don't get my bum in your face. So taking the feet nice and wide, we're going to take a forward fold. So you take hands to the hips, lift the chest on the inhale as you exhale, finding that lovely flat back as we roll down. Really working on decreasing that angle of the hips and then letting the hands drop down. They might come to the floor at this point. If you've got props and you want to pop your hands on bricks, that's fine. Just allow yourself to release all the way down as far as you feel comfortable in your practice this morning. So we're hanging out upside down. Again, just as we did in that narrow version a second ago, letting the spine be long, finding a bit of space through the vertebra as we hang upside down. Now if you want to have a go as we did before, taking a lift of one heel then the other, we're going to take squeeze and lift of the right heel. And then you might want to take a little drop towards that right foot as well, so extending a little bit here. And then swapping it over, lifting up the left heel as you drop towards the left side of the mat a little bit. And again, back to the centre, so just alternating heel lifts, working into the groin a little bit more on this one, as opposed to the hamstrings. Just taking another one on each side. Well done. Last time. Release, good job. Take the hands down to the floor and just press back up so you're in this sort of 90-degree angle. Now we're going to work into a surface lunge and I'll give you an alternative if it doesn't work for you. So taking the hands over towards the right foot, we're going to come down onto the heel of that right foot. We want to take the left toes up into the air, and if possible you want to keep this left leg in line with the left hip. Now if this doesn't work for you, if you've got dodgy ankles or you don't feel like the balance is there, you can keep the hands down on the floor or you can bring the right knee down to the floor and you can sit onto the heel. Okay, so taking another trick, if you lost the balance today or you've not quite got it, you can take a brick or a book or something underneath the heel, so you're working into that supported variation. So you can take the hands together in prayer, relax the shoulders down the back, or you can take the arms up into the air if you're feeling super balanced this morning. So think about that drawing up sensation all throughout the body, lifting up through the spine, finding that deep stretch into the inside of this left leg. Any variation of this surface lunge. Perfect, well done. For 3, 2, and 1. Good, take the hands, pop the brick out from underneath the heel if you've already got it there. Take the hands down to the mat and just rock the weight back to centre, coming back into that wide leg forward fold. So we're taking back to forward fold this time, inhale. Exhale, start to release back down. So you might want to play around with the legs, you might want to take them a little bit wider maybe. You might want to catch the elbows in the hands. You might want to release the hands overhead and allow them to interlock. So see if you can bring the weight forwards into the balls of the feet a little bit. Have a play around with your forward fold. Just rock the weight around in the feet, backwards and forwards, and see where you feel most balanced. Again, finding length through the spine here as we hang upside down. As we sit all day, we compress the muscles through the torso. It's a nice way to stretch out these muscles. Hanging upside down for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You could use the hands if you need to press back into the hands, hand underneath the shoulders. We're going to take a twist from here. So bring the left hand front and centre so it's underneath the chest. Press down through the feet, inhale, sweep up with the right arm, taking the gaze to the right fingers. You might want to drop the right arm into that lower back crease, taking a hold of the left hip, or just keep the arm reaching up and over. So any variation of this twist, as long as we're opening out through the belly, through the chest, keeping the spine nice and strong here. Try not to hold the breath on your twist as we compress the torso and the lungs. It's quite often the case that we hold our breath without even realising. Allow that breath to flow. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. As you exhale, releasing the right hand, taking the place of the left, and let's swap sides. Good. Inhale, rise up with the left arm. So we're looking to work from the torso here, not just yanking through the shoulders. We want the whole of the spine. If you can imagine what your spine is doing here, 1 vertebra at a time, you've got the different sections of the spine, giving yourself the opportunity to really release into different areas of the back. Full breath in, and out for 3, 2, 1. Release your bind wherever it is, and taking your Skandasana or your surface lunge on the other side. So grab your brick if you need to. We're going to drop onto the left heel, taking the right foot up. If you need to drop that knee down, that's fine. You can bring hands to heart center. If that's bothering your ankle, as I said, you can grab your brick and you can just have a little bit of support underneath that right foot. So taking your hands to heart, you can take the hands up into the edge. Be mindful of the shoulders so you're not shrugging them up next to the ears. Take a lift. Find that balance. Find that lovely stretch out through the inner thigh for 3, 2, 1. Well done. Release the brick from the side and walking your way back to the front edge of your mat. Coming back through centre. Stretch out in your down dog. And then let's drop to the knees. So let's take a little roll through our cat-cow flow. So the toes can be tucked, or you can have toenails to the floor. Spread out the fingers. Set yourself up in that tabletop. Let's flow. Inhale. Use the pelvis. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze. Let the chest work between the upper arms. Exhale, rounding through the spine, letting the head really drop down, letting the gaze travel towards the back end of your mat. Finding that extra squeeze through the belly to find that lift through the back. Inhale, lift through the chest. Cow pose. Exhale, round through the spine. Cat pose. 1 more. Inhale. Really good for stimulating your organs. Good for your posture. Exhale, round through the spine. Well done. Finding your way to tabletop. We're going to come into a flowing sphinx. I found the easiest way to get there is to take the hands out in front and then just transfer the body weight forwards. Elbows squeeze in as we take a little lower down. Coming all the way down onto our bellies. You might want to just slide back a little bit. And taking the elbows underneath the shoulders. Fingertips facing forwards. Taking that inhale and a little squeeze through the back body. So it's a really gentle back bend. Allowing the shoulders to release the weight down from the ears. Exhale. Forehead comes down to the floor. And again, inhale, squeeze the lower back, the glutes to lift. So really lengthening out the abs. Also a good one for firming up the butt. Exhale, release. Final time. Inhale, flow that Sphinx. Inhale, rise. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Well done. We're going to take a twist from tabletop or dog, your choice. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back primarily through tabletop, and I'll show you what I mean. So taking a twist through your tabletop, you can take an inhale and exhale, reaching across, sort of back towards the left, outside of the left foot. Or if you want to take the same from dog, lifting the sit bones, you might want to make a slightly shorter dog. Let the head drop, inhale, exhale, right hand reaches somewhere on that left leg. So it can be the inside of the leg, it could be the outside, depending on how far down you want to take the hand. It could be around the heel and the ankle, but keep the sit bones lifted. Try not to transfer the weight over towards the left, and keep both heels working towards the floor. 2 more breaths, either in tabletop or dog. Again, working into the twist, great for our internal organs. Nice little massage there. Release on the next breath out. Well done. Right hand plant. So if you're taking tabletop, left hand flows through. So you're not coming down to thread the needle. It's just a stretch across towards the back right hand side of the mat, or working into your down dog. Left hand reaches. See if you can plant both heels on this one. You can always use the exhale and the arms to just draw the chest a little bit closer to the thighs. For another 3. 2, great stretch out of the back of the legs. And 1, perfect. Bringing the hands back down, and from there drop to the knees. Let's find our child's pose. So as I said at the beginning, if you want to bring the knees together, it's a bit more challenging because you've got to find more flexion through the spine. You can bring the forehead down from there. If that's still not working for you, take those knees out a little bit wider. So this time, release the arms out behind you. Just allow yourself to round through the spine, to fully release all of those back muscles. That's it, good job. A nice stress relieving pose, this one. Nice passive back stretch.
I think I could sleep like this.
I challenge you to sleep like this. I think I could get a really good night's sleep on a yoga mat after a yoga session. Well done. Give me 3 more breaths here. Rest those eyes closed. Enjoy the space that you're creating through the back body. One more breath. And bringing the hands back under the shoulders and allowing yourself to come back into a seated position. So this is where you might want some props. You might want blankets or bricks, books, whatever you've got to hand. This is my least favourite pose that we're working towards. Fire log.
Oh, I've got no fire log.
Okay, I'll give you some alternatives.
So
coming down on your bottoms. Alright, we're going to take a seated forward fold. So take the legs out long. You can keep a nice soft knee bend if you wish. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, imagine you've got this bar here. So we're hurdling the belly over the bar so you can lean forwards with the heart towards the toes. So lots of knee bends. You can make this really passive. You can take loads of knee bend. You can drop the head down into between the knees if you like. Just see what it feels like to extend. You can drop the hands down in or outside of the legs. Nice, really juicy, no nonsense, floppy forward fold from seated. Absolutely no need to straighten out the legs if you don't want to. Allow the face, the shoulders, everything to be soft here. For another 3. Just creating a little bit of space in the back body, lower back particularly. 2. And 1, good. Inhale, roll up, nice and slow. And take the right leg in front of the left in a cross-legged position. If you struggle to sit cross-legged, grab your book, your brick, your cushion, and sit on top of that instead. So right in front of left, we're going to take the arms out wide. As we exhale, we're going to bring the right hand in front of the left, so that the palms are sandwiched together. From there, we're going to slide the palms past each other and take that grip lock of the fingers. So exhaling the elbows away from each other, just creating a bit of tension through the shoulders. The elbows want to be at shoulder height. Just let the eyes close and just find that strength as you pull one hand away from the other, keeping that bind. So finding that tension in the muscles before we release. 3, Well done. 2, strengthening the back, a little bit of a stress relief. And 1, ooh, let him go. Give him a little wiggle out there. So we're working to half happy baby now. So taking the right foot, the front leg, up into the air. I'm going to take the right hand inside of the right thigh and just gently allow the right arm to come behind the knee. We're going to take hold of the outside edge of the right foot and just bring the foot in line with the knee. So you're drawing the foot directly back. So rather than having it crossing over the front of the body, so you can bring it out. So you should feel that here in the right hip. Again, sitting up nice and tall, you can rest the left hand on your knee or on the floor. Inhale here. As you exhale, just as if you were lying down in happy baby, you start drawing your knee towards the wall behind you or whatever it is that's behind you. Finding length here. Full breath, well done. Think about staying even through the sit bones. 2. Sit up a bit taller. And for 1. Awesome. Alrighty, from here, here we go. Fire log pose. Shuffle your left leg forward so you've got the left shin parallel to the front side of the mat. Now there's a really intense hip stretch. Some people do it and they'll hardly feel anything, so I'll give you an option in a minute. For me, I find it hideous. So what we're going to do, we're going to aim to bring the right foot on top of the left, okay? If this is not working for you, try bringing your block onto the floor. So Chrissy, grab your block.
So that's me, that's fine.
Yeah, so grab the block, do what I'm doing here. So bring your block onto the floor and just pop your top right ankle onto the block. Okay, so you've still got your shins almost parallel. That's it. But that feels a bit more accessible. So you can actually relax through the hips as opposed to feeling quite tense. If you are able to take fire log and you want to work a little bit harder, what you can do is bring, rather than bringing the ankle onto the knee, you could slide that leg a little bit further along. Okay, so you're sliding past the ankle. All right, if you want to have a go at taking a forward fold from here, then you can do. You might just want to focus on this hold. Another option you could do is to take your brick or book or something underneath that lifted knee so you've got that support. Okay, so it could be that you end up, this is why I've got 2 blocks, you see. You could end up with that top foot on there, and then you could end up with a brick in here as well. Okay, but I think that's probably enough for me. I think that's quite nice. Just not having the ankle on the knee and on that block. It's a bit more manageable.
It's lovely that, because I feel I can build towards it as opposed
to, it is. It's a good builder. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit more.
It's weird, it's how your bodies are different, because I just have nothing here.
No, I think because we've played so much hockey, and we've got relatively short hip flexors. Okay, anyway, let's move into the other sides. So nice deep stretch into the groin there. Inhale to rise up. You might want to even lift that top leg off if you find that quite a challenge. So take both feet down to the floor, just windscreen wipe the legs one way, then the other, just to release into the hips a little bit before we take that second side. So if you remember, we'll start in that easy seated position. So bring the left in front of the right this time. If you want to sit on a block, go ahead, or whatever you've got to hand. And this time taking the left hand in front of the right, pressing the palms together, sliding the fingertips away until you get that bind. Elbows nice and high, inhale, exhale, draw away, close the eyes, find length through the spine. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Find that tension in the shoulders before we release for 3.
Come on!
2. 1, awesome. Dangle the arms down, give them a shake, and take the left arm on the inside of the left thigh, finding your half happy baby. So sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so no rounded slouching spines here. Sit up nice and tall, knee comes towards the space just behind that left shoulder. That's it, so toes to the ceiling. Take that breath in. And exhale, draw back. Well done. So we're finding a little bit of core work here, that connection through the centre. 3. 2, it's really deep opener into the hip, the ligaments and the tissues in the hip. And 1, fire log pose. Any of those variations we've just shown you, but on this side. So flex both feet. It's really important that we flex the feet to protect the knees. So you can float that left foot onto the left thigh, making sure both sets of toes are facing forward. If that doesn't work for you, grab your brick. working into this variation. Again, you can have your brick on any height depending on how flexible you're feeling in that hip. Okay, so finding that lift. Remember, if you want to take that a little bit deeper, you can find that extra challenge by taking the fold forwards, or you can just slide your ankle a bit further along on that top ankle, but not for you, Chrissy. I'm just saying for those people that find fire log easy peas, which a lot of people do. Okay, so any variation of your fire log, flex those feet, Chris, flex, flex, flex.
Whilst we were playing hockey, they were sat in fire log.
Exactly, inhale. Some people are just born with naturally more flexible hips. Exhale, maybe have a little fold forwards, if that feels okay. So a nice little stretch for the calves as well, this one. You should be able to feel it on the outside of your hips as well as the inside. Well done, everyone. 3. Time we on. 2. And 1. Good stuff. Inhale, roll up. Alright, remove those blocks. If you need to have a little windscreen wiper of the legs, go for it. Rocking one side, then the other. And we're going to come down onto our backs into wind relieving pose.
Where's the mic?
Where's the mic? Okay, well done. Hug the knees in, give yourself a little roll down onto the spine and extend that right leg long. Draw in with the left knee, give yourself a good squeeze here. So again, take the right toes towards the ceiling. Extend through that right leg, nice and long, shoulders relax. Perfect. Give me 3, 2, and 1. Scoot that right heel in towards the bum, so the knees up towards the ceiling, right heel in towards the bum. Take the left foot, flex the left foot again, taking your way into a reclined pigeon or figure 4 stretch. Alright, so you can stay here, perfectly passive, you don't need to move at all, or you might want to reach between the legs, take a hold of the back of the thigh. I want the head to remain on the floor, so it's not an ab workout, I don't want the head lifted. You can extend that right leg towards the ceiling if you need to, or it might be that you can reach forward in front of the shin and actually take the shin and draw in. So there's a bit of a twofold here. You want to draw in, shoulders relaxed, but also press away maybe with that left knee towards the front edge of your mat. So we're working into your glutes here, into this pigeon stretch, as well as the hips. We're going to combine this with a twist in a second. Let's just take another 3 restful breaths here. The whole of the upper body wants to be relaxed and soft. Okay, on the next breath out, I want you to release the right heel towards the floor and slowly start to expand the arms out wide if you've got the space. You can always cactus the arms if you haven't. And then starting to roll onto that right hip, aiming to bring the left foot down to the floor. Now, it might not work for everyone. If that doesn't work for you, you can just bring the left knee on top of the right and take a double leg spinal twist. Or you can pop your foot on a brick or a cushion or something so you feel that support. Okay, but aiming to bring the left foot down. Maybe turning the gaze away over towards the left, so away from the left knee. Deep full breath in. And out to get that nice little twist through the spine. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. A little squeeze of the abs as you come back through centre just to protect the lower back. And let's swap it over. Left leg long, wind relieving pose. Draw the right knee in. Give yourself a squeeze. Nice long spine, nice long leg. Flex the left foot, bring the toes to the ceiling, draw the right knee in. Can we bring that knee really close towards the chest? Hip flexors might have a little squeal at this point. Okay, draw that left heel in towards the bum. Place your right foot, flexing those top toes, or the top foot, the ankle, on the left leg. Take a little squeeze there. You ready? We can take that figure 4 stretch by reaching through between the legs, catching hold of the back of the thigh, or maybe the ankle, the shin itself. Relax through the spine, let the back of the head rest easy on the mat. Press the right knee away a little bit if you can. For 3, 2, lovely. And 1. Again, dropping down with the left foot onto the floor. If it feels okay, take the arms out wide and slowly on the exhale, rotating over onto that left hip and bringing the right foot down towards the floor. Again, if it doesn't reach, don't worry. You can grab your brick and you can pop your top foot on your brick, or alternatively take the right knee on top of the left and just enjoy that spinal twist and forget the pigeon bit. Take the gaze over towards the right. Now breathe. For 3, 2, agree to puppy pose next. And 1, well done. Little squeeze of the belly, releasing back to centre. Take a hug in of both knees this time. Give your back a little bit of a massage as you rock from side to side. And you can roll onto your side, or you can rock and roll up and down the spine, coming to the front edge of your mat as we find puppy pose or melting heart. So back to all fours, knees underneath the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. From there, slide the hands out, so it's like an extended child's pose almost, but you've got the hips lifted. Take a breath and allow the chest to melt down towards the floor as the head melts down between the upper arms. So the forehead can come down onto the floor. We're pressing the sit bones towards the back end of the mat. Again, if you want to press into the fingertips, you can arch through the palms, find extension through the arms, really juicy stretch for the shoulders and the upper back. If you feel more confident coming down into melting heart, you can bring the chin towards the floor instead and allow the gaze to travel forwards as you melt the chest down towards the floor. So either of these, melting heart is obviously a bit more challenging than puppy pose. Another alternative you've got is to bring the hands onto a block out in front of you or a book when you're in your puppy pose. That can allow the head just to sink a bit deeper and create a deeper stretch into the deltoids. Any lovely variation of your puppy pose or melted heart, finding that stillness, really stretching into the upper back, into the spine, and also creating some calm in the body. Allowing yourself 3 breaths. Finding that stillness. Final breath. Well done. Taking some weight into the hands, walking the hands back in towards you and releasing yourself into a kneeling position. So we've got hips over heels, and we're going to tuck the toes under on this one. Inhale to rise up full height. We're just going to take some little crunches, nice gentle workout for the abs, but a nice stretch out for the shoulders. So we're taking the arms wide, we're going to take eagle arms, wrapping the right over the left. You might just want to take step 1, little hugging. Step 2, bring the backs of the hands together, or step 3, take that secondary bind at the wrists as well. So primarily we're going to take the fingertips to the ceiling. So find that engagement through your glutes here to keep that connection through the belly. Lift up tall, take the gaze to the fingertips if you want to. As you exhale, we're going to bring the elbows down towards the belly button. So a little crunch there and around through the spine. Exhale to lift. Inhale, little crunch. Well done. And again, inhale. Let the gaze follow the fingertips. Exhale, final time this side. Lovely job. Inhale, rise and release. Give the arms a shake out. Let's swap it over. Left over right, a hug, back to the hands or palms together. 3 little crunches from there. Inhale, rise up with the fingers. Exhale, squeeze elbows in towards the belly. Find that little ab crunch as well as that stretch out through the shoulders. Another good one if you've been sat at a desk typing for a long time. Inhale. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale. Really drawing the navel in towards the spine as the elbows come down towards the belly. Perfect, well done. Inhale to rise full height. Keeping the toes tucked, or you can release the toes down onto the floor, it's up to you. We're going to take the arms out in front and interlock the fingers, pressing the palms away from you here. So really find that stretch out through the shoulders. We're going to take a little lean back, okay? So as you lean back, we're going to be stretching quite deeply into the calves, working the glutes and lower back to bring us back to this vertical pose. So take that breath in. As you exhale, take a little lean back. Nice strong core here. And then squeeze to lift back up. You might feel this on the knees. If it feels uncomfortable, maybe just have a little play at releasing here and just don't come as far back. So releasing, squeeze onto that belly, squeeze the glutes. And lift back up. We've got one more of these. Well done. Building strength here. Relax the shoulders. That's it. Don't have to come back too far on this one. And release. Good, well done. Give the arms a shake. From here we're going to switch into a modified gate pose or gate pose. Okay, so we want to take the right knee forwards and we're going to pivot on that right knee. So I'm now facing you guys. It's just as we did before in our surface lunge, except this time we want the knee underneath the hip and we want the left leg extended. Now you might want your block for this one, you might not. If you find that you've not got much side bend, you might want to take your hand onto something, that's all. But you can let it dangle down. So we're going to take a reach up with the right arm. We're going to inhale here. As you exhale, you can think about slowly allowing that left hand just to float down towards the floor. Okay, so you can start to reach over towards the back end, the toe end of your mat with your right fingers. You might want to peer underneath your left arm. So it might be that your hand comes down onto a block or onto the floor. For support, you might find that you're just hovering. It's up to you, whatever feels nice. So working into the inner thigh, we're also working into the whole of the right side of the body as we stretch out here into our modified gate pose. Well done. If it feels like too much reaching to the toes, keep the arms at eagle, like a big wingspan here, like a big bird of prey, stretching fingertip away from fingertip. Okay, one more breath, inhale. And then exhale, releasing. Alright, what I want us to do from here is work around towards that extended leg. So we're going to be bringing the knee back underneath the hip if it's shifted a little bit, taking a little flowing split pose. So we take a breath in. As you exhale, rocking the weight forwards, dropping the hips down. Well done, inhale. Exhale, rock the weight back. So it's a little half split flow. Well done. Floating forwards once more. Dropping the hips. And exhaling back into that half splits. Taking a few breaths here for 3, 2, and 1. Take some weight forward so you can bend that extended leg. Walking back round to your long side of your mat and swapping over into gate pose on the other side. So taking the right leg out, bringing the left knee out in front, and again, bringing the toes towards the ceiling on that extended leg. When you're ready, inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, right arm floats down. So you can go up towards that top hand if that feels like too much, just keep looking forwards. You can pop the right hand onto a book, onto a brick if you like, or you might want to start reaching over towards the right toes, gazing underneath the left armpit even, sorry. So keep flexing the toes towards the ceiling, feeling that nice stretch into the inner thigh. All the way through the left side of the torso, the hip, for 3, 2, and 1. Release, softening that front knee as we pivot, coming to face the opposite front side. So short edge of your mat here. So you're taking the left toes out behind you, so you're in this sort of hurdle position. Take an inhale here, exhale, slowly releasing down into your half split variation. And then maybe taking a flow with me from here. So inhaling, rocking the weight forwards, dropping the hips down, so we're sort of in a semi-lizard. That's it. Exhale, rock the weight back, take the toes to the ceiling. And again, rolling over, hips down, good job. We've got 20 seconds left. Release, perfect. One more. Inhale, weight comes forwards, hips drop. And exhale, rolling into your half splits. Just allow yourself 3 breaths. Perfect, well done everyone. Take the weight forwards. See if you can slide that right leg back. Find your way into table. We're going to cross the ankles and roll back over the ankles. So give them a nice little stretch out there. Finishing off in our reclined bound angle. So you might want to take the brick underneath the hips at this one. Good one for stimulating the heart, relieving mild depression. So taking the soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop out wide. You can let the arms be long, or maybe release the arms up to the top of the head. So just enjoying a little gentle opener through the hips. And if you want to stay here for Shavasana, if you find this position quite comfortable, that's cool, go with the flow. If you prefer to extend the legs into corpse pose, that might feel quite nice. And in any of these positions, you can take a block underneath the back of the head, underneath the hips, or anything which you find comfortable. I think I'm going to have a little rock over into crocodile. So allowing your body to relax in your Shavasana, wherever you end up. Again, just refocusing on that breath. Trying to allow the mind to stay focused rather than wandering off. Just giving yourself this opportunity to reset. You can stay here for as long as you like, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to finish our Shavasana here. So when you're ready, inhale, maybe drawing the knees in. If you're in the same pose as me, maybe taking the hands underneath the chest and rocking your way one way or another, either onto your side or up into a comfortable seat. So just rounding off our practice here with a nice big breath. Sitting tall, engaging through the belly, let's raise up with the hands on the inhale. And exhale, releasing the hands down to heart center. Well done everyone, thanks for coming to practice today. Have a lovely day, namaste.